Howdy, I'm Jeff McAleer. If you follow the Gaming Gang, then you probably already know that I underwent triple bypass surgery about a week and a half ago. I am on the mend very nicely. Thank you very much. Really appreciate all the kind thoughts and prayers that have been sent my way. But I do want to mention I am still a ways away from returning to the Duct Tape Studios with any regularity, mainly because of my voice. It is very weak. It is very hoarse. Anyway, originally I had planned for the month of June to be the Gaming Gang Spring Fling with a brand new review each and every day of the month. Of course, that plan fell through when on June 1st, I found myself in the hospital awaiting open heart surgery 6 days later. But I did prepare some reviews ahead of time for the fling, and I do want to share those with you. So, of course, I'll mention the spring fling in the videos. Obviously enough, it didn't happen. But still, I do want to share these video reviews. So without further ado, today, allow me to share my thoughts about Dive from Sit Down Games. Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off, because today I'll be sharing a bit about how to play, as well as my review of Dive from Sit Down Games. Should you swim on over to your friendly local game store later this month to add Dive to your collection? Or will playing Dive just simply leave you with a sinking feeling? Well, you're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Welcome to the Gaming Gang Spring Fling. That's right. Every day during June, you'll find a brand new review on thegaminggang.com. Today, I'm going to share a bit of how to play, as well as my review of Dive, which is from Sit Down Games. It's designed by Romain Ketterdijon and Anthony Perron, with artwork provided by Alexandre Bonvalot. I assume I have mispronounced at least one of these people's names, and I do apologize for that. This game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $34.99 when it's slated to arrive later this month. That said, let's swing on over to the other camera, because I've got Dive kind of set up to show off how to play. Before I dive in, do want to mention the fine folks over at Sit Down Games were kind enough to provide me with this prototype of Dive for me to provide you with this review. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any sort of compensation for me to share my thoughts about this game with you. These days, it's really important that you know that. All right, that said, this is a prototype. So this is not the finished product. As far as the ocean tiles, yes, I'm pretty sure that this is exactly what we're going to see in the game. Do want to mention this frame that holds them. This is not exactly what you'd be looking at in the retail edition, as well as the components itself. So as an example, we've got our score tracker. I've got little discs on here. I understand there's going to be little diver figures that you're going to use to track your scoring. As far as the artwork in that, I believe that is complete. That is finished. And I got to say, the artwork's very, very cool. I will share some of the player boards so you get to take a peek at them as well. It's a very easy game to jump into. And it is deceptively simple, but it is not easy to win. And I will discuss that in just a few moments. So essentially, the story is that you belong to this group this tribe, I guess we'll say. And one of your like rites of passage is to dive to get these like this sacred stone that the chief of the tribe tosses out into the ocean, and everyone competes to dive the deepest to get this stone. So essentially what's happening here is you're going to be tracking points for guessing correctly what is on these ocean tiles. And of course, whoever scores 23 points in the standard game first is going to be the winner. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the storyline behind the game. So what you're going to do each turn is you're going to decide how far down you're going to try to dive, and is there going to be a shark on that tile, or is there not going to be a shark on that tile? Because you're trying to avoid the sharks. Before I show you that, let's take a quick peek here at some of the artwork on each of these player boards. Like I said, it's really outstanding, really nicely presented. And we do see the little disc up here showing the color for that player. My assumption is that we'll be showing the little diver as well. So we'll go back to my original character here and got some rules. And like I said, once again, this is a prototype, so these are just stapled together. But the rules are really nicely presented. There's plenty of examples here. I had absolutely no problem understanding how to play the game. Although it's kind of funny, you really have to play it to understand it. This is not necessarily a game that's like you explain it to somebody and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got you. Okay, I get it." But once you play it, just even for a couple of rounds, and you're like, "Oh yeah, okay, I completely get it." There are various different options. There's some optional rules in here. There's kind of a more advanced game. There's a solitaire game. We've got these various different sea creatures. This is kind of an advanced game where you select which one you want, and they give you a one-time benefit that you can use in the game. It's basically a one and done. But I thought that's kind of cool. We got all different artwork for the different aquatic life. And let's get back to how do you play. So what you're going to do is you've got this frame here that holds a bunch of these ocean tiles, which are semi-transparent. And there are things on these tiles. So it might not be real easy for you to see. So I'm going to kind of rotate this around a little bit, try to see if I can get the light to catch it in different ways. That's a good look there. So it's really wild because when you're looking down on this, you see all these various different layers. And essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out is if the next layer to be drawn, is it going to have a shark on it or is it not going to have a shark on it? And that's essentially what you're trying to figure out with the various different levels. And if you want, you can take a flashlight to this. You can use your cell phone, the light on that, to try to illuminate this better. One thing the players cannot do is they cannot touch these tiles. So there's no lifting it up to go, oh, well, wait a second. No, none of that. So what you're going to do is you're going to secretly, so you've got this little screen that you're going to utilize, and you're going to secretly decide how to allocate your air. So we've got it from 1 to 5. And we have this side, which is saying, okay, there's not going to be a shark at this level. And that indicates, yes, you do think there's a shark at this level. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to advance down the scoring track. And to do so, you have to be correct on if there's a shark or not a shark. And if there is a sea turtle or a manta ray, you will advance along the track. with an exception. Once you get to this spot here, these dark blue, the manta ray will no longer work for you. What the manta ray does is it allows you to catch up to the next player, catch up to the player who is ahead of you. So it's kind of interesting how that works too. So this is one of those games where you're never completely out of it early on. Now, once you get to this part here, then the only thing that is going to advance you is being correct, which I'll talk about, and the sea turtles themselves. So as an example, let's say I don't think there's a shark on this top level. So I place, this is almost like a bid. I'm bidding on this spot that I'm going to be correct. And if I am correct, once everybody has revealed what they've chosen, if I have the high score here and I'm correct, I will get the bonus for whatever's here if they're even on the tile. So when we look at the tiles, you get a much better idea. So as an example, let me just say, let me do this. Now, I really haven't checked to see what's in here. So something else I should point out too is you can put multiple air bubbles on your levels. So if you're really, really sure about something, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to do this. Or as an example, I'm going to do this. Because remember, if you're correct, that's good, but you still have to have the highest value in order to get whatever benefit might be on that tile. All right, so as an example, let's say, okay, everybody's revealed what they've got as far as their levels and their air. So we're going to take this first tile off and we lay it down. And you need to have a white board. So I understand that the retail editions of Dive will contain a white board for you to lay these down on. I actually didn't get one. So I'm actually using some poster board that I've got for a white background, so this will show off. Okay, so as an example, all we're looking for here is sharks, sea turtles, manta rays. Everything else is just some cool add-ons, right? Some cool decorative. So like we've got right here, we've got right here. They don't count for anything. All right, so as an example, this is a red sea turtle. If I had the highest value, I would get to move 2. And then I was correct, so I get to continue on in this round. So let's say, as an example, I had said, oh, yeah, there's a shark there. Well, as soon as you're wrong, all the rest of your air tokens will be removed. So essentially, once you're wrong, you are now out of that round. The rounds move really quickly once everybody knows what's going on. All right, so I got to move 2. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got. Oh, look, it's a shark. I did not guess that there was a shark, so I would get nothing. So everything from here on out is removed. Once nobody has any tokens left to be played, then you're going to count how many did you have correct. And for each level that you were correct, you're going to get another point. So you're going to get to move 1 more. So let's just say, as an example, we're looking like that. Let's try another round. All right, so let's do this. Granted, I would be looking at this, trying to figure out. All right, so what's on the top here? Can I tell? Can I tell what's on the top? Let's do it like that. Okay. First one out would be there is a manta ray. So I only have 2 here. So let's say I was not the high on that, and let's say the white player had it. So they would catch up to the person who's ahead of them. Of course, if you're in the lead, it does nothing for you. So that's the first one. I'm wrong. But I shouldn't say I was wrong. I'm correct, but let's say at my point, I didn't have enough points. So let's see what we got on the next one. Ah, crap. It's a shark. So we got a shark on this one. I did not guess shark. So I would be out. That would be the end of that round. Once again, we come around once everybody's done. Nobody has any bubbles left, right? No air tokens left. For every one that you have correct, every level you've got correct, you'd move 1 again. Once you get to the 16 spot, the manta rays don't help you anymore. You cannot catch up to anybody who's ahead of you with the manta ray. All that matters in these dark blue are the green and red sea turtles. Once again, once you get to the 23 points, whoever gets there is the winner. They have won the challenge. As I mentioned, there is also a solitaire variant to this, which would use these different cards. And of course, these cards are going to be quite different because, for one, there isn't even any backing on these prototype cards. But what you would do is you're just simply, you're supposed to be basically, you're taking on the chief. You would flip that over, and that is their guess for that round. And if they're correct, in fact, they even have a little black disc that they're going to use for scoring. And you would score, you would move them along like that, just basically taking your tiles. So one aspect that's very cool. Oh, here we go. So as an example, right? So there we've got a whale. It looks like a little baby whale. This wouldn't give us any advancement from a sea turtle or a manta ray, but it would be a correct guess if you said no shark. So at the end of the round, that would be worth 1 tick along the track. Just kind of give you an idea of some of the artwork on here. And of course, there we go. What is that, Nessie? Actually, it's an eel. Looks like it's an eel. Once again, there's actually nothing as far as the sea turtles or the manta ray on that, but still very, very cool. So we do have a few different tiles that don't really have anything like, here's a sea turtle. So if I had the highest and I was correct, I would get to move 1. But the game is actually a lot of fun. Here, that gives you a little better look at what this kind of looks like when you're trying to peer down and go, okay, so what level do I think that shark is at? As you can see, I didn't have the shark right in the 2 rounds I was showing you. This game plays really quick once everybody has the hang of it, and it's just a fun little bit of trying to outbid people on the various different levels. So if I'm positive there is absolutely no shark on that top one here, then I might even add an extra level there. So what that essentially means when you do that, I could do this. I could make it a 10 if I want, but it also shortens up the number of tiles that I am going to be in the running for. But once again, I could be completely wrong, and that has a shark when we flip this over, and I lose all those anyway. All in all, super easy to get into. The game zips along once everybody understands it, and it is super easy to wrap your head around. And there's various different options as far as playing. There's one that's for kids. It's very very light as far as how to play. And then once again, there are some more advanced rules, and there's also the solitaire rules. So quite a lot of gameplay packed into Dive. So let's swing on over to the other camera, and I will share my final thoughts as well as a review score. This is a really cool game. This has a really nice visual style to it, from the artwork itself to the undersea aquatic life. The tiles look really nice. Do have to point out, you might want to make sure that you've got kind of a sponge to wipe the tiles down as you're going through them, because once the round is over, you actually put these back in the box so that people can't look at the tiles that have already been played. And they do pick up dirt and fingerprints really easily. And the dirt and the fingerprints can make it a little bit harder trying to see down through the various different levels. I would say maybe if you have some issues with depth perception, there might be a bit of a problem playing this game. But the reality is it's not depth perception like way far away. It's, on top of each other. So I don't think that would be too much of an issue. I like this a lot. I think this is a lot of fun. Everybody I've played it with, the whole gang, really enjoyed it. It is not some deep, meaty game by any stretch of the imagination. It's certainly not going to be everybody's cup of tea because it is really, really light. And it is a perfect game to wind up or wind down a session of gaming. So there is that as well. I would like to see what the retail edition looks like, just to kind of get a better feel for if this is the final product as far as these tiles. I'm pretty sure that it is. But, to see just the component quality overall, because once again, this is just a prototype we were looking at. So you can't really say what the components are going to be. Although, if it's anything like what's in just the prototype, you're in good shape. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give Dive a very, very solid 9 out of 10. I think it's that good. Once again, it's not going to be everybody's bag of tricks, but if you are looking for a lightweight, quick playing game that has nice visual pop and is super easy to learn and to play, you really can't do worse than Dive. I'll tell you that much. All right. That is it for this time out. If you liked this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this review, it'll also tell you when I stream my live show, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, as I bring you not only the latest in tabletop gaming news, but first looks at tabletop games, be it board games, role-playing games, miniatures, rules, what have you. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, good gaming. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel, or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel. And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.